Good morning, beloveds. So, fall has arrived. And it has arrived significantly cooler this morning. It's going to be cooler this afternoon, and it might get even cooler tonight. So, we're all super excited. We have the windows open in the house because it's really nice out there. And all of the cats have been waiting for the weather change. They've all been a little extra playful and just, somewhat a little more snuggly. It's been interesting. They're very aware of the change of the seasons in ways that we just aren't. And I'm being highly distracted by Foster right now. He's let me see. Let me see if I can show him to you. No, are you gonna be shy? You gonna be shy? Look. Yeah. He's very quiet. But he's sweet. He's sweet. It's kind of ironic. We think he's a Havana Brown, and a Havana Brown is a cross between a Burmese, which I know nothing about, and a Siamese, because he's got that strong Siamese body. But he's quiet. And Siamese are not quiet. They talk a lot. So, all right. It is September 22nd. Our title is I Partake of the Divine Beauty. And our quote is, "This is the goodness of God. He bestoweth it on whom he will. God is of immense goodness." And that is from the Quran. All right. Today, you are to identify yourself with the most abundant life, to think on those things which make for peace, to dwell on the unity which underlies everything. As you poise yourself in the realization that you live in pure spirit, new power will be born within you. You will find yourself renewed by the divine life, led by divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love. Focus your inward vision on this indwelling harmony, knowing that as you contemplate its perfection, you will see it manifest in everything you do. Say, realizing that the spirit within me is God, the living Spirit Almighty, being fully conscious of this divine presence as the sustaining principle of my life, I open my thought to its influx. I open my consciousness to its outpouring. I know and understand that good alone is real. I know that I am drawing into my experience today and every day an ever-increasing measure of truth and beauty, of goodness and harmony. Everything I do, say, and think is quickened into right action, into productive action, into increased action. My invisible good already exists. My faith, drawing upon this invisible good, causes that which was unseen to become visible. All there is mine now. All there ever was or ever can be is mine now. I may have read the title wrong. I partake of the divine bounty. I may have said beauty. I'm not actually sure. I will have to rewind. I'm about to date myself. I was going to say, I'll have to rewind the tape. There's no tape. It's all digital. But he definitely gave us, we already know the mission. We already know the mission today. Because today we are to identify ourselves with a more abundant life. Today and every day. It's like where your attention goes, that's where your power goes. So what you focus on, that's where your power goes. And so you have this abundant source of power. Why would you focus on the negative? It really is about focusing on the positive, focusing on the good. Even when you're dealing with, and I'm going to use the word non-preferred situations, you want to focus on the solution, focus on the positive steps that you're taking to get out of the non-preferred situation. Because that's where your attention is, where your focus is, that's where your power is. So you want to focus on the good. That's why gratitude work is so powerful. That's why keeping a gratitude journal is so powerful. When you are in one of those moments where you feel like you're spiraling out, or down, spiraling out or spiraling down, one of the really good things to do is stop and literally count your blessings. Look around, because it's one of the things for anxiety that you ground yourself by using all five senses. And it's like you smell one thing, identify one smell, and identify two things that you hear, and identify three things that you touch. That I'm not entirely sure how, and it may not matter. It's basically using all five senses. Well, the same thing would work if you feel like you're in a bad mood. To literally start counting your blessings. To literally count your blessings. And nothing's too small. Nothing is too small. You don't have to look for the great big things to be grateful for. Start with the little things, because sometimes they're easier to find, and nothing is too small. Everything, that's the great thing about spirit, is like nothing's too small for spirit. Nothing's too big for spirit. Nothing's too small for spirit. So just a minute ago, I showed you where Foster was, where he was leaned up against my hip and he had the paw on me, and the way he had his head tilted up and looking at me. That's something I'm grateful for, because it's a sweet moment between me and my cat. It doesn't mean anything in the with the world. It has nothing to do with it. But it's a sweet moment between me and the cat. And that's something I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for those. I'm grateful for those little green eyes that he has. And I'm grateful for how much he loves me. And I'm grateful that that he's healthy. So I'm moving into that kind of gratitude, and then I can work my way up into things that actually do affect anything outside of my house. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning with a really awful headache, but I went ahead and went to the gym anyway, and I don't have the headache anymore. So I'm grateful that I don't have the headache anymore, and I'm grateful that I had. So that's what I'm talking about. I have all of these things, and just the more I talk about it, you can see I'm getting more animated, more excited. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. So I partake in the divine bounty. Okay? This is the goodness of God. He bestoweth it on who he will. God is of immense goodness. Well, if God is of immense goodness, then God will bestow that goodness on absolutely everybody. There's nobody that God's not going to bestow it on. It is up to us to notice it, to be conscious of it, which is why we are constantly talking about consciousness. That is the drumbeat of Science of Mind. Consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Pay attention. Okay, so that was the quote from the Crayon. Today, you are to identify yourself more with an abundant life, to think on those things which make for peace, and to dwell on the unity which underlies everything. Where your attention goes is where your power goes. Where your focus is where your power goes. Focus on the abundant life. Focus on the things that make for peace. Dwell on the unity. All right? As you poise yourself in the realization that you live in pure spirit, and that's the way you do it, by focusing on, new power will be born within you. Because there's nothing like gratitude. There's nothing. Gratitude has this way of animating us. And gratitude and love are the same thing, but they're slightly different. Because gratitude is love. But gratitude is an animating love. It's an animating love. Whereas love can be peaceful, and love can be calm, and love can be gratitude will get you going. So that's a new power will be born within you. You will find yourself renewed by the divine life, led by the divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love. And gratitude does that because you start looking at what's good. And it doesn't mean that what's not preferred goes away, but it means that you now have the power and the energy to deal with what needs to be changed or fixed or removed. You'll have more energy to do that because you're grateful for the good. You're grateful for the good. Or you'll stop noticing the stuff that's not preferred. It may still be there, but it won't affect you the same way. Focus your inward vision on this indwelling harmony, knowing that as you contemplate its perfection, you will see it manifest in everything you do. Contemplate. Focus on the inward vision and and that's what gratitude does. That is what gratitude does. All right. I'm all excited now. All right. So we're into the say, power statements, parts of treatment, affirmations. These are words that you can absolutely use in your affirmations or pick one out to become your mantra for the day. All right, say, realizing that the spirit within me is God, the living Spirit Almighty, being fully conscious of this divine presence as the sustaining principle of my life. This divine presence is the sustaining principle of my life. It is the pillar upon which I am built. The divine principle, God, the living Spirit Almighty. This is what animates us. And in it, all things are possible. And to go back and recognize the central pillar of my existence is that. Anything else I can handle. Anything else I can handle. Because I never walk into anything alone. Because the Spirit is always with me. I open my thoughts to its influx. I open my consciousness to its outpouring. Because it is the central part of me. But I am responsible for opening to it. I am responsible for being willing. I know and understand that good alone is real. I know that I am drawing into my experience today and every day an ever increasing measure of truth and beauty, of goodness and harmony. This is what I know. This is when I do spiritual practice. This is what I know. It's getting better. It is better. It's increasing in goodness. And I know that. And I know that in my treatment. So that when I am out in the messy, juicy, material world and I come across a situation and I'm going, yeah, I don't really like this. I know that I have the power to do something about it. And then I will. And it's just like that. I don't have to get worked up and animated and crazy about it. I can just acknowledge, okay, this is a non-preferred situation. But I know what to do. Because I have the ultimate guide, the ultimate guard, and the ultimate intelligence. I don't know what word, what word, it just popped right out of my head. Whatever word was going to go there. Everything I do, say, and think is quickened into right action, into productive action, into increased action. So, right action, meaning it is good for me and everybody. There's nobody that my action is not good for. Into productive action, it's going to produce whatever effect it is that I am looking to get. It's going to produce an increased action. And the cool thing about the increased action is all I have to do is set it in motion. I don't necessarily have to stand there and keep feeding it. Once I set it into motion, Spirit will run with it. And spirit will find all of the external sources that need to keep it growing. It's kind of like planting a garden. You plant the garden, and all you have to do is occasionally come back and weed it until harvest time. There's nothing that you can do to make the plants grow faster other than regular maintenance. You can't will them to grow faster. So that increased action is you do the maintenance steps. You weed, you water. That's pretty much what I know about gardening. You may need to feed, weed, water, and feed. But all the hard work is out of the way, and now you're just doing maintenance. So the increased action isn't coming necessarily from you, it's coming from spirit. All you have to do is maintain the situation to increase action. My invisible good already exists. It always has, it always will. It is up to us to be conscious of it, to bring it into our experience. My faith, drawing upon this invisible good, causes that which is unseen to become visible. That's our part. We got to be willing. We got to be accepting. We got to be conscious of. My good exists. Your good exists. It always has. It always will. It's up to us to be willing to draw it into our experience. All there is mine now. All there ever was or ever can be is mine now. All right, so you heard the mission. The mission, it's the first line in the reading today, is to identify ourselves with the more abundant life, to think on those things which make for peace, and to dwell on the unity which underlies everything. That's the mission. Straight up. Sometimes he's like super clear, this is your mission. And one of the ways that we can focus on that abundant life, one of those ways that we can think on the things that make peace, and one of the ways we can dwell on that unity is to do something loving for ourselves, do something kind for ourselves, do something compassionate for ourselves. Whatever that looks like today. Be it big, be it small. My windows are open. That is. Because I walked into the house and it's so much cooler outside. I was like, let me open the window. Let me air out the house. That is a loving, kind, compassionate thing. And it is a small one. So whatever it is, practice on yourself. You deserve your own loving, kind compassion. You do. You do. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. That is the state of grace that we live in. So practice on yourself. It also allows you to create a bank for those times when you run into that non-preferred, and then you have something to draw on. It also is there for when you run into people who need a little more love, a little more compassion, and a little more kindness. You will have a bank to draw on. That's it. All right, I also encourage you, as always, do something to engage your mind and your body. Go get that face full of sun. It is a gorgeous day out there. Also, drink plenty of water. It's cooling off. So I'm going to continue to remind you to drink plenty of water. You can also take that as a cue of, that's one of the ways that I say I love you. Drink plenty of water. And open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven now. It is right here, right now, all around you. What it is waiting on is your consciousness to catch up, to see it, to look at the beauty around you, to see the beauty around you, to see the godlings around you, and to give them space to be the godlings that they are. All right. I'm going to move into the process of my day because I have no idea what my day is going to look like. I am going to remind you there is a book study today, The Living of the Science of Mind. If you're interested in that, it's Wednesday. I believe it's 6. It's on Zoom. So email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the mailing list. That can also get you the Zoom link for that in particular. There are 3 book studies going on right now, 3 amazing books. And I think that's the only thing I know going on today. All right. Well, then do what you need to do to make it a great day, a fantastic day, an amazing day, a wonderful day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. All right? Know that you are loved. Know that you are here for a reason. You are here to have experiences. You are here for a purpose. And that purpose is simply to be you. All right. Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself and know that you're loved. I'll see you next time.